So, I recently was at a dinner, a private hosted dinner for a group of people that I know. Not going to go into details, obviously, because it was private and because it really doesn't matter. But what I want to talk to you about in terms of energy and time and money today is that dinner obviously took place at a very high end place. It was a closed, off bounds for regular people event. And there were several bars, or there were several layers that would have prevented people who had nothing there to do to enter and to excuse me, and to partake in the dinner. One of them was, or sort of like the first layer was, there was a doorman or a bellman. And if somebody would have shown up and they weren't properly suited, they probably would have been rejected, I assume, because there was a dress code and there was a very clear expectation that you needed to wear like a formal business attire or something formal, something nice. So that was number one. Number two was there were some people who took names and notes of those who attended, and if somebody who wasn't on the guest list showed up and they would have tried to get past the door, or get past the doorman, they wouldn't have been able to continue past that checkpoint. And number three was you needed sort of like two of the workers at that place to let you pass them and enter into an elevator, and then ride that elevator up to the second floor, and that's where the actual event or dinner took place. And obviously, if you would have finagled your way, or sort of like lied and deceived or conned or whatever, well, done something to get past those two people who took notes with a guest list, you still would have gone through sort of like barrier number three, if you will, which were those two workers at that place, or those two staff at that place, escorting you up to the elevator. Let me see. If you aren't watching, I'm just having a sip of coffee here. Anyway, that's how the rich and influential and those who guard their time and energy work, especially their energy, because they can't be around cheapskates. Think of the polar opposite. If you walk into a low-class grocery store like Walmart or some other cheap place, what's the first thing, or is there anyone there who prevents you from entering? Absolutely not. They want you to enter. It's kind of like those cheap places where you have not doormen, or actually doormen, but their job isn't to guard the door. Their job is to toss you in and then making it difficult for you to leave. I've actually heard stories about that. At these lower end places where they have these scammy ass methods, they sometimes try to toss you in, and then if you want to leave the place, you have to pay a fee. That's sort of like their way of getting you in. They're like, hey, come in and get free drinks, or get a special discount on drinks, all that you want, blah, 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 blah. And the deal is, as soon as you accept that offer and you walk in and you receive like a wristband or some such, or a stamp on your hand, or some sort of proof, whatever, that you're eligible to be there, it's difficult to get out, right? That's how they do. They're using more scammy ass methods, which also just proves my point here. The rich and the influential and so on, they don't use scammers. They use, or excuse me, the rich and influential don't use scammers, but the rich and the observant of their time and energy and money and so on, they don't use scammy ass methods. They use difficult methods, but that are honest and upfront. And if you want to get past those barriers, well, then you need to qualify, because they don't make it easy for you to enter and then difficult for you to leave. It's the other way around. It's very easy for you to leave, but it's very, very difficult to enter at times, which means that they what's the word I'm looking for here? They're I'm drawing a blank, and this is really, really annoying. They're curating is the word I was looking for. They're curating with whom they spend their time and energy around, and that became very, very, very obvious as I was attending that high venue place yesterday. So just make a note of that. So, with all that being said, if you want to save your time and energy and effort and so on, well, then you should aim to be around high value individuals, really, ultra high net worth individuals, because they're very, very conscious about their time and energy and so on. So if you want to learn more about time and energy and all that sort of stuff, make sure to subscribe to my email list wherever you're watching or listening to this. The link will be below the video in the episode description and or close to the episode description if you're listening to this. And I'll see you on the next one.